Yes. All right. Give me some time to start the class. Now I'm ready to take the class. I'm ready to start the class. But the thing is, very less students in front of me. So let's students join me. Then we'll start, right? So hey guys, for MC1, we have a group. It's a group one and group two. So today is our uh, means one more class we have. So today is 16th and 23rd of July is the last class, right? So according to the schedule, we just start our today's session. I hope like the students are joining me. So can anyone tell me like block number 4 is started and block number 3 is completed or nearby to be completed? Do we have any idea about that? Are we completed our topic that is modules? Anyone can unmute? Okay. So if you are not asking me anything, I'll start with the classes. Actually, we covered and the previous class will discuss a topic that is classes in Python. So block 4 having unit number 13 to unit number 16, and most probably we are just covered one particular unit that is classes in Python. And we know one thing like गूगल ऑटो मीट करना है ना. Now, at presently we are just uh, discuss a topic that is classes. Doubt in our classes. If we have a doubt in our classes concept, then definitely we'll start with the concept of classes. Otherwise, we'll move and then discuss the other one. डाउट है क्या?
नो मैम।
कोई डाउट नहीं है? ऑलराइट, अगर कोई डाउट नहीं है, then definitely we are covering our topic. See guys, as per the screen I'm sharing with you, this is our concept and we are discussing our block number 4. Moreover, the classes in Python, that concepts are covered by us and was covered in the previous sessions. So if you have any doubt in this one, please unmute up yourself and ask me. Otherwise, I'll just go through and continue the same. Do we have any doubt in our classes? Ma'am, the last class we finished the concept of file handling. थैंक यू अंजलि, बार बार पूछने के बाद आपने मुझे इतना सारा सपोर्ट कर दिया, रियली थैंक यू. सो ब्लॉक 3 में नहीं टच कर रही हूँ, आई एम जस्ट मूविंग डायरेक्टली टू दी ब्लॉक नंबर 4 और 13.2 का आपने मुझे डिस्कस कर दिया है. We all covered now. So 13.3 is thanks a lot. See 13.3 it is the concept which is available in block number 4 and unit number 13 itself. So classes methods on. First thing, when we create a class, then definitely we can call our method or our classes. Here classes are taken three kind of advantages or the utility, like class is a normal class behaving like a normal class, a class behaving like a constructor class, a class behaving like a default constructor class, or class is behaving like a parameterized constructor class. So the first thing, the first need we need, if we declare a class, then definitely we create an object. So this says create an object of the class and the constructor declared within the class invoke automatically. So the class a declaration in Python is a unique. We uniquely identify with a unique method that is init underscore underscore init and underscore underscore doc. So this is a parameter where it goes argument of the method called itself, right? So here a class implement as a constructor which we define as a user, and the first argument the class call itself with the availability of init method. And now this is a very small, it's a method. See class name, they written here, they given here, it's a rectangle. Then we declare like column means immediately we want to give a proper braces. It is known as a curly braces. And therefore declaration of the means declaration of the method and declaration of class itself. So def it means defining the rectangle class. Init initialize कर रहे हो, डॉक कर रहे हो, क्लास गेट इन्वोक अपने आप ही वो इन्वोक हो जाएगा. Method invoke without call. But directly when you are creating the object, the class call itself first, and this value like method invoke without call is print on the console window. This is a image. Okay. The very simple thing, if we declared our class here, let's say, so we are just moving to the Python. It's a script mode. You declare a class keyword and then say a rectangle. In Python, we are not declaring our curly open and curly closes braces. Without the braces, the colon behave like the braces ही हैं. One time space and then says init. It means we initialize our class as well as the method. Now through the self, we can call our class. Now, here you directly says to print a method. I am just printing if the indentation problem is mentioning. So method the message we write here, and then later on we can declare our class ka object. Let's say O1 is the object of our rectangle class. So if we are doing any kind of exception like indent and all, then it's definitely get a message. Otherwise, it gives us a result, right? So in Python, the only thing is the indentation. Now this is the second point they declare here. It's a inheritance means there should be the relationship between a parent class or a child class. So the parent class is behaving like a base class, or we can say it's a super class or the main class or independent class, and the child is totally depend on the parent one. So it is behaving like a child class or the derived class or the subclass. So it is the dependent one. So inheritance could be the type of 5, but still in Python we consider our inheritance as in 3 types like single level, multi-level and multiple. This says the class which is inherited is class or is called a base class or a parent or a super, and inherited class is called as a derive or a child or a subclass, right? So they just give a diagram that is known as a UML diagram, where one class is treated as a parent, another one class is behaving like a child, and child is fully depend on their parent one. So parent class का member data and member method is directly extended by the parent. So first thing is class child extends parents, right? In one place, we are just creating or created two types of class. One class is behaving like parent and another one class is behaving like the child one. See, the example is shown, it's a someone, it's a page number. I'll ask you like this is an example 3. They give an example 3 in our blog. So we consider as an example. So parent is the name of a class. Child is the another class which is created in the same place. Parent is a class which having like two methods, two different method, method 1 and method 2. Child is what? Child having their own independent method, that is method B1 and method B2. Now the thing is we are creating our parent class as well as stored some method. In these method we just write print method. Now class child is calling each and everything which is written in our parent one. So it is known as an inherited process. तो उनका मेथड क्या है B1 and B2. Now approach is top to bottom, always top to bottom. But in high level we consider top to bottom, bottom to top, and it's कंपेरिजन के लिए जनरलाइज भी होगा. लेकिन अभी जो हम क्लास ले रहे हैं वो हमारी क्या हो रही है, टॉप से बॉटम ही है. अब क्लास अगर टॉप से बॉटम है तो डेफ करके मेथड A1, मेथड A2. तो मेथड 1 ऑफ द पेरेंट क्लास, मेथड 2 ऑफ द पेरेंट क्लास, राइट. क्लास चाइल्ड दे रहे हो, पेरेंट को रख रहे हो, डेफ करके मेथड B1 एंड मेथड B2 ले रहे हो. अभी देखो OBJ1 बना दिया पेरेंट का. पेरेंट का अगर OBJ बना तो मेथड A और मेथड B ही कॉल होगा, ठीक है, सिंपल. बट हमारे पास चाइल्ड का मेथड कॉल नहीं हो पाएगा. We do one thing, we create an object of our child because this time child is more responsible. Like parent is giving their full resources ना, तो child का बन जाएगा object और on the basis of child object we can directly access whole the method, whole the value which is written on our parent as an child one. सो क्लास है पेरेंट, डेफ करके मेथड डिफाइन हो रहा है, मेथड A1, मेथड B1. देयर इज सम मैसेज विच इज रिटन ओवर देयर. So we create an object of a child. Suppose that नया प्रोग्राम ले लें क्या. See here, we are creating a method. बहुत छोटा सा ले लेते हैं, बहुत छोटा सा बना लेते हैं, ठीक है. क्लास बना दिया, लेट्स से पेरेंट, और एक छोटा सा डेफ करके मेथड बना दिया, इट्स अ me1. एंड me1 में we just write print hello. We just want to see the strategy, like what is the approach. So I just write a simple code हो सकता है ना. इंटेंट की प्रॉब्लम आएगी, then we say like it's me too. The method says welcome. These are the method which is created under parent one, right? Now here this class name is child child is directly call their parent one, and child can have their own method. This is like C1 and print both the message hello and welcome to a simple message I write here. So this is the program which is created under child. Now we just come at the place here. We says child का CH is the object of our child class, right? And as per the child, we just call like CH dot कॉल कर दो मी1 को CH dot मी2 को CH dot C1. So all the methods are called with the help of the child class, right? The same example is given here. We just understand the approach which is given in our example 4. We create a class, we just create two methods. In that method, we pass some value. Now, same here on the same place, we create a child class. In the child class, we just call our parent one. It means parent class is extended or inherited in our child class. Then we just write a method and just create a object, and on the basis of object we call each one of the things. See, I'm just asking कि ठीक है, तो तीनों मेथड आ जाएंगे, हेलो आ जाएगा, वेलकम आ जाएगा एंड हेलो एंड वेलकम ऑल. ठीक है, तो इस तरीके से आपका एक सिंगल लेवल इनहेरिटेंस क्लियर होगा और क्रिएट होगा. One more time, I want to take the attendance. So, can all of you open your camera? Friend only. One is Anjali and Sachin Kumar. These two students I want to see only. Attendance इन्हीं का जाना है क्या? बाकी किसी का attendance नहीं mention होना. All right. I'll take it. Now, please read. Take 2 minutes and read the entire concept like single level inheritance. यस, अटेंडेंस में ले चुकी हूँ। आप सबका जिनका जिनका कैमरा ओपन है सबका अटेंडेंस आ चुका है। थैंक यू। एनी क्वेश्चन बेबी? टॉपिक पे मूव करने वाली हूँ। There is no any doubt. Very sure, very much. Very sure. कोई डाउट नहीं है ना? चलिए ठीक है, मैं फिर आगे चल रही हूँ। नो डाउट। ओके मैम। नो मैम, नो मैम, नो डाउट। ओके, थैंक्स अ लॉट। चलिए, ये नहीं चल रहा है, ये नहीं चल रहा है। इसको लगा दो, इसको ओपन कर दो, क्योंकि नहीं चल रहा। पीसी दिखा दो। और ना नेट का प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है कि देखो लग कनेक्ट है ये। नहीं वो किसी क्या बस हाँ अपनों को ही जैसे पहले कोई बोल। फर्स्ट बटन है, सेकंड बटन कौन सा टच हो रहा है ये? आ गया सर, आ गया, फोकस आ गया। बीप करता है ना तो हो जाता है। चलो मैं क्लास तो स्टार्ट करती हूँ दोबारा से। पता है ये देखिए नेट ना आ रहा है जा रहा है सर, फ्लक्चुएट कर रहा है ये। नहीं ये देखिए ये फिर चला गया, यहाँ पे वो जो सिंबल है ना वो चला जाता है। ऑल डन, बट स्टिल देखिए यहाँ पे ना अब ये वाला देखो। काम करो, इस पर रख लो, इस पे रख लो, मुझे कोई इशू नहीं, इस पे रख लूंगी मैं तो, बस होना चाहिए काम। ठीक है मैं इस पे रख लूंगी, मुझे कोई इशू नहीं, लेकिन नेट आना चाहिए ना। हाँ ठीक, डन 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 सर, नाउ इट्स ओके, एवरीथिंग इज फाइन नाउ। यस गाइस, एम आई ऑडिबल? सुन पा रहे हैं क्या मुझे सब?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके
Sound is clear.
okay, all right, my meeting is getting disconnected automatically. Okay, okay, all right. See, there is some network problem, that's why I'll just discuss with my tech team. So sorry for the inconvenience. Now I'll just start it again. The topic which we covered, that is inheritance. It's inheritance. So doubt in S, अगर है तो please ask me. Otherwise, we'll just start with a different one. That is the next topic of our. See, as per the PPTs which is shown here, it's a 201. 201 का PPT है, and 201 में we covered some kind of things like inheritance and all, and this time some topics are scrolled up on this screen. It's method overloading, method overriding, single level, it's an inheritance and all. So first of all, I'll just continue with the book itself. They said this is the example of single level inheritance. Do we have any doubt in single level inheritance? Please say yes or no, otherwise we'll just move.
No, ma'am.
Alright, now the screen as shown here, it's a multi-level inheritance. Multi-level means more than one inheritance we are discussed at the same time, right? So they just give a class diagram. It means class A, class B, and class C. And this is class A having method A1 and A2, class B having their own methods, it's a B1 and B2, class C having their own method, it's a C1 and C2. So I'm just creating a diagram first, then we understand like what they want to ask us. See, these are three particular this is parent and child and another parent and child. See, here we just write it is known as a class A. So class A is our base class. Class B is the child class of this respective parents, because B is the derived class, B is the subclass, B is the dependent class or derived class, and A is treated as a parent class, right? Now C, as per the figure they just mentioned in our blog, C is again a child class. So A is known as a parent one. A is known as a parent one. We can say A class having their own member data and member method, right? A is directly called by B because B is subclass of their parent. So A having a B class. Now B class can have their own member data and member methods, right? So B is now behaving like a parent one. So B is known as a intermediate parent class. And now we are talking about like C. C is what? C having their own functions and method, and C is known as a child one. So B having the another child class that is known as C. So one parent can have one child and one intermediate child can have the one more child. So this is known as a one-to-one inheritance, and that type of inheritance is known as multi-level inheritance, right? So A class can have A1 method है उनका और A2. These are two methods which A having. Now, as per the figure, this says B class can have their own method, that is B1 or B2, and C class having its own method, that is C1 और C2. ये मेथड हो गए. अब जब ये सारी क्लासेस हो गई तो A is derived and B is also derived. So can we say A का डायरेक्टली रिलेशनशिप है C से, क्योंकि C के जो पेरेंट हैं वो A के चाइल्ड हैं. So can be asked here, it's A is behaving like a grandparent. This is an example only. B is behaving like a parent and C is behaving like a child. So which one is more capable? According to this diagram, C is more capable, because if we create an object of this class, so this class is directly accessed C1, C2. This object is directly called B1, B2, and this object is capable to call A1, A2. So that type of inheritance is known as multi-level inheritance. See here, they just write when an inherited class is inherited by another class, it is known as multi-level inheritance. So consider class B inherits the class A, absolutely right, and class C inherits class B's data, right? So we can say they all attribute or the method called by the parent. So that kind of inheritance is known as multi-level. So class C is capable to call their grandparents' data or the attribute or the behavior or the method same their own parents B1 B2 जो उनके parents हैं. तो class C is more capable to call all this. See here, आपने यहाँ पे class C1 बनाया, C2 बनाया, different classes हैं, no connection, right? बिल्कुल normal class बनाया है. अब देखिए, आपने यहाँ पे C1 C2 को कंस्ट्रक्टर क्लास बनाया बिकॉज इनिट कर दिया है. यहाँ भी आपने नॉर्मल क्लास तो है बट देर इज अ स्ट्रॉन्ग रिलेशन. C1 having method A1 A2, C2 having method B1 B2. Now class C is directly calling like C1 C2. तो दोनों ही एक्सटेंड हो गए. तो on the basis of C we can directly call the method of C1 का डेटा, C2 का डेटा एज वेल एज अगर इनका कोई अपना डेटा होगा ना तो ये उसको भी कॉल इजीली करा सकते हैं. नाउ अगर यही बात वी कैन क्रिएट विद द कंसेप्ट ऑफ लाइक कंस्ट्रक्टर. सो वी जस्ट राइट द इनिट मेथड. हमें सिर्फ इनिट मेथड यहाँ पर लगाना है. नाउ हाउ डू वी डू दिस? लाइक क्लास C1 डेफ करके वी जस्ट गिव अ वर्ड दैट इज init. So constructor of C1 and C2 means C2 is directly calling their parent. So C1 is giving the performance obj of C1 ka obj2 is for C2. So one class can have more than one object. That means we just control our space and time complexity. Means one object or more object is giving us the return value on the same time, right? So ये वाला जो example है, it is the example like constructor. It and constructor we know it is automatically get invoked when the class is calling itself, right? Now this is again a type of the example like example 7.1 they are asking here. See C1 and C2, they just write here according to the method C1 and C2. So example 7 they just write, example 8 they are showing here. So lot of examples are given in our block. So guys, take 2 to 3 minutes and read the examples. If you get any line, any concept that is not clear, please ask me. Then we just create the program and understand the methodology like what this example is going to be asked us. I am just stop my sharing and I'll request you all, please open your block number 4 and the example 7, example 6. Lot of examples are written there. Please read one by one. And if you have any line, any word is not clear, any character is not clear, please ask me. I'm giving you 5 minutes, please. Guys, no doubt.
No, ma'am.
All right. Now I can move. Yeah, I'm asking you like moving to the CFT. So one more PPT is available. It's a AI201 unit number 2. A lot of examples, a lot of coding concepts are given there. I'll just store the PPTs here. So we know the polymorphism. What is like polymorphism? How to define our method in polymorphic? What is the concept of classes? What are the concept of method? What type of inheritance we are using? See, one by one, we can just go through it. Polymorphism means like it is known as an the concept which we make sure like classes and object ka concept. Then we use a term that is polymorphism. Polymorphism having a simple meaning, it means many form, right? So poly means many and form meaning morphe. It's a form means forms. So poly means many and form means types, right? So polymorphism having a particular meaning like many forms. So polymorphism is known as a same method but different kind of signature, different kind of values. polymorphism having some built-in functions. Let's say they just explore an example here. This is len. Len is a predefined method. It is known as a built-in method. So we can say like print course. Course is the value and say length. Length karte hi the total length, like what is the length of this string that they can print us. Now, the second time they just make a len method, it is known as a list. So how many values are written over there? It's a 10, it's a 20, it's a 13, right? So they just give us like 3, they just give us like if we implement 5 values here, they just implement here, it's a 5. Now this is again a more polymorphism example, like it's a predefined method we just write here. Through the def keyword, we can declare a method. It's a add, and the 3 particular variable we declare x plus y, x comma y plus z. So z having assigning value, whereas x and y having some return value. So def is by default it's a integer kind of things. So it returns a value. So derive means add. So 2 is moving to the x and 3 is moving to the y. So when we call this add method on a first time, that definitely it gave us 5. Now second time we call the same method. It's a overload. Overload, like same method with having different kinds of value. Now 2, 3, if you want to add one more value here in a add method, so you just declare a z and you say like z ka value. Now z having 0, now this time you store a new value that is 4. So 2 plus 3 plus 4, it gives us 9. So that is the another process of morphic. Now polymorphism is basically called when we create our classes. So create a for loop to iterate. We use with the help of tuple. We call our method and the type of class. We can create our object and then call that value. So we assume that method automatically exists while we are creating our classes. This is the example like class. It's an IND, it's an India and def karke capital. So the message is printed here. New Delhi is the capital of India. So self means class call itself first. Self is not a predefined word. It is user defined. It is the process where we can pass a argument. Now this is a simple method again. Def karke language. Now self call or Hindi is the primary language of India. And this is like def karke type is the third method. So India is a developing country. So one class can be created here. It's a India, and India class can have 3 different kind of method. It's a capital, it's a language, and it's a thing. Now we create another class. It's a USA. Then we say like capital is what? It's Washington. So DC is the capital of USA, and the language we are asking here again it's a method. So English is our primary language of USA. The message is returned def karke again it's a language. So we create the same method and type karke USA is a developed country. Now we just create an object like obj for India, obj for USA. Now on the same time we call the method. Capital is created in India as well as USA. Language method is created in India as well as USA class. Type is created in India as well as USA class. What the thing is, we are just overload the method and pass different kind of value, then print our result. So we can say it is the concept of polymorphism. So polymorphism can be binding on into the runtime or the compile time. We can say polymorphism having a feature, having a functionality. It's a late binding or late binding. Now, as per the screen, we already aware of the inheritance and types of inheritance because in our block 4 there is a unit and we thoroughly make some program like what is single level inheritance, what is multi-level inheritance, and what is multiple inheritance. Now they introduced hierarchical and hybrid inheritance. Hierarchical and hybrid inheritance is already covered in the topic of multiple, because more than one child having a same parent, so it is known as a multiple. So they just give some definition, like it's again an example class having a bird def karke intro. There are many types of bird. Now birds are doing some kind of functionality. Birds can have their own behavior, own it's a like attribute. Let's They can fly, they can sing, they can cry. So they just write a message like sparrow and all. So orchids, it's creating an object and then we'll call it. So a lot of examples are there. Now the script says polymorphism with a function and object. So we create a function called func and we create an object. Let's The name of the object is obj. So obj is what? It is initialized as an object, and this object is able to call the method of their class and itself. So we just create three kind of method, like capital tha, language tha, type tha, for India and USA. So we create a initialization of the object for both the classes and the function. The function names are same, but different kind of method we store there. That is the concept of polymorphism. Now, see, the first reflection is for India, the second reflection is for USA. We create our object, and on the basis of that object, we are calling our value. So this is all about the concept of our inheritance, right? So guys, please be unmute if you have any doubt in the concept of polymorphism, in the concept of please unmute of yourself if you have any doubt in this concept. Creation of the class, creation of the method, creation of the please be unmute if you feel like we have a doubt. Then मुझे बता दीजिए अगर है कुछ. कोई भी ऐसा डाउट है, कोई भी ऐसा वर्ड जो क्लियर नहीं है, तो प्लीज आप क्लियर कर दीजिए. अगर आपकी तरफ से कोई ऐसा डाउट नहीं है, कोई ऐसा वर्ड नहीं है, तो हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. डाउट है तो डाउट शेयर कीजिएगा, और अगर कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर है तो प्लीज बताइएगा. देन वी मूव.
मैम हायरार्किकल एंड हाइब्रिड इनहेरिटेंस क्लियर नहीं हुआ.
मुझे किसी को कोई बात सुनाई नहीं दे रही, इसका मतलब मैं समझ जाऊँ क्या?
मैम हाइब्रिड एंड हायरार्किकल इनहेरिटेंस.
नो डाउट। ऑलराइट, नहीं डाउट है, बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छी बात है, होना भी नहीं चाहिए। अब देखो यहाँ पे एक वर्ड लिखा हुआ है ओवरलोड। ओवरलोड का मतलब क्या होता है? ओवरलोड का बहुत छोटा सा मीनिंग होता है। सपोज मैं यहाँ पे पहले ये एग्जाम्पल ही लेना चाहूंगी। ओवरलोडिंग का मतलब होता है कि हमने कोई वैल्यू ली किसी एक पर्टिकुलर लिस्ट पे, या वी कैन सेव द होल डेटा इन आर एट्रीब्यूट और इन आर वैल्यू वेरिएबल्स, राइट। वी जस्ट से लाइक ए का वैल्यू है 10, और सेम टाइम पे हमने उस मेथड के लिए, उस वेरिएबल के लिए वी आर डिक्लेयरिंग और इनिशियलाइजिंग अ डिफरेंट वैल्यू। सो वेरिएबल और मेथड कीपिंग द न्यू वैल्यू, राइट, कीपिंग द ओवरराइट वैल्यू, तो वो हो जाएगा ओवरराइट। देखो the example they are asking us like n1 and n2. N1 and n2 having some different value, right? They just want n1 dot underscore underscore add n2 ka value. So adding n1 and n2, it is known as like string or the list. We just want to perform a operation that is known as concatenation. Suppose same sub बना रहे हैं, सब्सट्रैक्टिंग हो रही है, MUL कर रहे हैं, देन मल्टीप्लाइंग N1 एंड अंडर डिव कर रहे हो, सो डिवीजन। मॉड इक्वल मीन्स equal, check like both the values are same or not same. EQ stand for the equal, right? GT stand for the greater than, LE stand for less than, REP stand for like representation, like it's a canonical form. STR to check the length of the string, LEN for the counting, like whether the length is equal. Say they says like we want to add A and B where A is equal to 2. It means having a integer value and B is having a string value. So this is known as a complex ना. तो आपने बोल दिया A plus B. So one value is having like int stand for integer, another one is a string. It is known as a typecasting. वो नहीं कर पाएगा. It shows us a error message. So adding of two object means class हो गया student का, def करके init कर दिया n1 n2. So self का n1 equal आ जाएगा normal class का n1 and n2. Then they definitely give me a error message कि आपने एक बार तो दे दिया string value, राइट। अब अगर हम यहाँ पे करते हैं ना, लेट्स से क्लास बना दिया स्टूडेंट, इनिट सेल्फ कॉमा n1 इज द पैरामीटर, सेल्फ डॉट n1 इज इक्वल टू n1, देन ऐड। तो n1 में है इट्स इग्नू, n2 having like university, to the on the basis of s1 का student and s2 का student, in the last line we just write print s1 plus s2. It means we want to concatenate, हम जोड़ना चाह रहे हैं, right? So IGNU or IGNU and university, both values are get merged. Again, same here we are doing some init कर रहे हैं, बिल्कुल ठीक, but still 10 and 20 we are passing. And if s1 is greater than s2, then s1 wins, otherwise s2 wins, but still greater than symbol is not being like this. So student के साथ s1 and s2 we are not performing. We just use GT word. It's a greater than word to use the same one. It means I write here it's a def करके GT, self करके other, p1 p2 is the argument, is the local variable, n1 का value is storing in p1, n1 का value is again storing is p2. So p1 is greater than p2, then it returns true and false. Now s1 and s2 are behaving like an object. 10 and 20, the value is s1 and s2 के compare पे, then we get a result. Yes, s1 having 10, s2 having 20. So 20 means after else part. So s2 wins message is print on our console window. Now they just give a message here. It's a overloading. In our PPT, we already shows like there are four type of implementation is maintaining by our polymorphism in Python. That is, it's a duck typing, it's a operator overloading, it's a method overloading, and overriding. See, duck typing is what? It's an English language. If this is a bird which is walking like a duck, so it's a quacking like a duck, then the bird is a duck. So it means it is a behavior of the bird like a duck. So we say x equal 4 and x is Mohit. So here we can check some inferences rule. They says x is a variable strongly having an integer value. Yes, absolutely right. Here they store 4 and x is Mohit. So Mohit is storing here, it's a uh, string value. So class animal, def method का name, class bird duck, and execute the same method we are calling. The first execute method shows like bow bow, and the second execute method shows here it's a quack quack. So the class name is animal. The animal type they are mentioning, animal type is a bird, animal type is a dog. So they says animal ka method it's a code, self ka IDE, and IDE can execute. So IDE is what? It's a object. So we can say it's an object of bird duck. OBJ is the object of animal, and code is the method. So code is the method which is written there, and then one message is print on our window, that is like it's a quack quack आएगा ना. Yes, it's a quack quack वहाँ आ जाएगा. चलो एग्जाम्पल 19 भी कुछ ऐसा ही है, एक बार रीड करो. अब मैं ये नहीं बताऊंगी, आप मुझे बताएंगे कि what is happening here. So each one of you please read it thoroughly and then ask me. मुझे हिंदी में बताओ, इंग्लिश में बताओ, जो भी लैंग्वेज में समझाना चाहते हो समझाओ, मुझे पता तो लगे. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन इन द उप्स कॉन्सेप्ट के पॉलीमॉर्फिज्म तक पहुंच गए हैं हम. ठीक है, प्लीज रीड करके मुझे बताओ इसको. मैं आपके सामने ये शेयर कर रही हूँ. गाइस आपको जब मुझे बताना होगा ना अनम्यूट करोगे, ठीक है?
ओके मैम।
लगाओ तो लगाओ, नहीं है इसमें, कहीं और तो नहीं लगा रखना। क्या चेक कर रहे? हाँ guys, no one is asking again. No one is asking me anything. It means whole things are clear to you. मुझे आप में से कोई भी नहीं बता रहे हो कि मैम हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रही है या नहीं। इसका मतलब मैं यही मानू ना कि आपको ये सब चीजें आ गई हैं, ठीक है? देखिए, some of the examples are written. हम एग्जाम्पल के थ्रू जा रहे हैं. They just share us the concept of overloading. It means they just create A का value and B का value. अगर ऐसा उन्होंने कुछ दिया है, then let's try. साथ साथ में इसको amend कर लेते हैं. We write here A का value, and then we say B का value. I'm just taking the same value which is already mentioned in our block. So A और B का simple operation we get a value that is 7. Now we are doing some different kind of thing. Print the init then say base says init के बाद immediate value and we are pointing our value and use a method. So we just know like it is the value having like A and B. So it gives me that name is not mentioned. So before going to be create the value, we definitely create a method first. Now, so add is a method which can be automatically created. No, first we have to be declare it. Then the second thing is we want to call it. So this is print x plus y is working, whereas str dot add method. So where add is a method which can print us a value, right? But still directly we are not creating or calling our method. See here, that is the approach. मैं जो दिखाना चाह रहा था A और B. Yes. All right. Let's say डन. इनिट को पहले हमें देना है, उसके बाद ही वो क्रिएट प्रोसेस पे आ रहा है. सेम यहाँ पे मेथड ओवरलोडिंग में मेथड 1 का सेल्फ, मेथड 1 का अगेन सेल्फ, then self का x and y. So empty method, argument value and passing argument method. So first of all, we create some value or the argument, then on the basis of that argument we are calling the same one. They just create a class university, unit name and course and the student. So university having multiple students. So student is the subclass which is totally depend on our university class. So university is the parent, student is the child one. तो अब यहाँ पे यूविन का नेम, अच्छा यूनिव का नेम एंड कोर्स इज क्रिएटेड एंड कॉलिंग हियर. So start one is the object for the class of student and the method, right? So IGNOU University and MCA is calling here. See the number of example they are predicting here. All about summary आ गई है. See, a new unit that is known here, it's a exception. See guys, what is an exception? When we are doing some kind of abnormal things in our code, then it is known as an exception. Exception handling is already a good class which is already mentioned in our high level language. Just a minute. See, कैचिंग एक्सेप्शन में बेस का एक्सेप्शन इज व्हाट, लाइक एट्रीब्यूट एरर हो सकता है, अरिथमेटिक हो सकता है, एंड ऑफ द फाइल हो सकता है. ठीक है. एक्सेप्शन मीन्स एबनॉर्मल कंडीशन, इट इज जनरेटेड एट अ रन टाइम व्हेन वी आर डूइंग एनी काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स लाइक डिविजिबल बाय जीरो कर रहे हैं, एरे इंडेक्स इन बाउंड एंड आउट ऑफ बाउंड डिफाइन हो रहे हैं, लेट्स से फाइंड नॉट फाउंड, इंटरप्शन, permissions. So they kind of things we are doing here. So exception handling is the concept like try, catch, and finally. Now we understand what is try, what is catch, and what is finally. Just to make in all of the coding in the high level language, we just create a tile block. It's a try. It means user is creating base statement. Then if we are doing any kind of error, so catch block is generated and generates the catch block ka index inbound out of bound. So all the statements are coming at this place. So one child can have one catch or more than one catch according to our situation. Then suppose that if we are not doing any kind of error, the whole thing are clear, there is no error found in our program, then the output is visible here in the terms of output. So finally block always give us the answer. तो जो भी हम लिखेंगे as a user, we always write down in this paragraph. So multiple statement is written. Catch block is catching us when we are doing some exception, and finally block is finally gives us the specific output. So if we are using these keywords then and that, the problem solving by this block container. If you are not using, तब भी जो error होगा वो इनके basis से ही आता है. Now they just write here the example one. So implementation of try catch. So we try something, it means print 10 divisible by 0. So it's a 0 division error. Then say print welcome to the university and पास मीन्स वी वांट टू गिव अ गैप कि हमें टर्मिनेट होना है, वहां से हटना है, ठीक है। सो हियर वी आस्क देम लाइक एक्सेप्शन दिखाओ, जीरो डिवीजन एरर एज MSC1 मिक्स मैसेज। जो भी मैसेज होगा ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट दे कैन show a message. Here we are doing a different kind of try. If we are trying something like number num2 is the ordinary variable, but still we are just using some kind of runtime value. So we use input method, and in input method we are using int. So post the second number enter or a print num1 is divisible by num2, then exception generated, and so they say can't divide with 0 and please enter the integer value only. So message 1 is showing these kind of message. So in the first one we are just right here 3 and 4. On the basis of 3 and 4 we get the message. Second 4 are 0. So definitely it reprint a result like division by 0 कर दिया है. 0 and 4 all zeros हैं, ठीक है। तो जैसा भी कॉन्सेप्ट होगा उसको उसी तरीके से उसी ब्लॉक कंटेनर में रिटेन करना है। नेक्स्ट मीन्स लूप के अंदर लूप, विद इन द लूप वी जस्ट राइट एंड कॉल sometimes as a user we are get familiar with our code and we want like how much exceptions are generated by our uh, concept or our program. So rise statement is used to rise this statement and rise in an exception also. So as per the user's point of view, if we are so good to write our code and all, then it is known as a user defined exceptions. Now guys, I'm just stop the sharing again and please ask me if we have a error, if we have a doubt. Ma'am, hybrid and hierarchical inheritance is not clear. Okay, Anjali, hybrid and hierarchical inheritance is under control by our I'm giving it a valid reason. It's a hybrid and hierarchical. See, this is the thing which is considered by multi-level. So multi-level
Your
inheritance
screen is not visible, ma'am.
from the another derived class, right? It is known as an
Your screen is not visible, ma'am.
hybrid, and like these type of inheritance is considered in our C++, in our other languages. It's in other high-level language, but still in Python we just concise these two inheritance in multi-level only. So I'll just give you like so multi-level inheritance. We know like whereas child class is derived from the another derived class. So these features carries like combined aspect of multi-classes. So it follows the hierarchical. And hybrid inheritance is what it's an heterogeneous features of using multiple inheritance. So hierarchical as well as the hybrid. These two things are concise in is given a compact in your multiple inheritance. So individually we are not if we individually we are not using it, but in terms of like multiple we are considered the same concept. And Sachin, I am just stop my screen. Actually I want like how good a lot of concept we are covered today. So I want your response like any doubt we have, whatever we read in our today's class or in our previous class, just please open your blog number 3 as well as blog 4 and then share me the doubt. And we have one more class. In that class we'll just discuss the DBMS concept apart from your Python, right? So अभी तक जितना भी हो चुका है ना, वो आप एक बार मेरे साथ शेयर करो। अगर वो क्लियर है तो मैं एक नया टॉपिक छोटा सा लेना चाहूंगी, बिकॉज आई हैव अ टाइम। तो प्लीज अपना एक बार ब्लॉग अच्छे से रीड कर लीजिए, और जो भी लग रहा है कि हाँ अभी पूछते हैं लाइक पॉइंट्स में, वो आप मेरे साथ डिस्कस कर लीजिए प्लीज। अच्छा, मॉड्यूल्स अभी हमने थोड़ा सा करा था क्या? मॉड्यूल्स हम कर चुके हैं क्या? मॉड्यूल्स हुआ है? प्लीज एक बार मुझे देख के बताओ, अगर मॉड्यूल्स हो गए तो वेल एंड गुड, नहीं हुआ है देन वी जस्ट go through the concept of modules. if Python में modules होता है क्या है, then I share my screen. Method and modules. म्यूट करके प्लीज मुझे बताइएगा। Are we create our modules? So creation of the module as well as calling of the module. Please check and ask me. Please check and share with me. If we already did, then definitely we'll not discuss here. If we are just leave that point in our class, we are not discuss the modules and all, then we'll discuss here. Please go to your course, the classes concepts, and then ask me. मैं फिर वो डिस्कस करना चाहूंगी। अच्छा ठीक है, मैं क्या करती हूँ, अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर कर रही हूँ। मैं आपको खुद ही बता दूँ, एक छोटा सा कॉन्सेप्ट है मॉड्यूल्स का। Okay guys, we go. What is a module? Module is a kind of code which we covered and call it. So here we can create a module. Let's say I am just creating a module and put my code inside like a.python, right? So on the page is like this five modules of three four seven eight yesterday. Now let's say this are some method that is certified method. It's a when. So when the dot when they find any then this value start from the 20 and up to 20 printed in three more and more and percentages part of the
Ma'am, you are not audible.
in the unit number 15 they introduce some functions that are known as like lambda functions. Some of the concepts are given like coder or decoder. So what is like a coder, decoder or iterator? They are the advanced concept of your Python programming. See, I'm just scroll down the screen. Generator. Again, it's a concept of file or advanced part of the Python. So sometimes they use a method that is yield. Yield means कि थोड़ा सा screen को hold पे ले आओ. Yield होना है, ठीक है? Routine and coroutines. Some little bit difference they are giving subroutine and coroutine का. And the last unit they introduced it's a database concept. So they write a message like SQL for the structured query language and they introduce MySQL. MySQL is another platform where we can keep our record in terms of grid form like through combinations of rows and columns. Now, different kinds of software they introduce here like Oracle, Access, MySQL, Mongo, MongoDB, SQL Server, right? So they all having backends, and in the backends they just create values like from the end user, from the administrator, for the designer. So SQL is basically for structured query language. छोटा छोटा ही मैं इंट्रोड्यूस कराऊंगी बहुत डीपली नहीं लेके जा रही आज की क्लास में मैं सिर्फ डेटाबेस है क्या क्यों क्रिएट होता है एडवांटेजेस क्या है ये थोड़ा सा बताना चाहूँगी कि database is what it is just like a container where we keep our record in terms of tables, in terms of relations, and for the creation of the class, we just keep our data not as an ordinary data. We want to keep our data in terms of like key aspects. So key aspect like we just create our data with the help of like keys, like it's a primary concept and key attribute or not key attribute. So basically we create our diagram is known as entity relationship. So data is having some specific meaning. Data we just keep our in our flat file or data we keep in our DB, but it's having a major difference. In a flat file system, when we retrieve our data, it is directly using like there is no conditional things are applied over there. If we keep our data into our databases, into our tables, then through the specific keys or the words we can extract it. Just like using like select here, from here, where here, with white here, right? So ER के अंदर और फ्लैट फाइल के अंदर दोनों के अंदर क्या होगा integration. Uh, we just showed one diagram. It's 16.1. So rectangle means we always represent our data in the form of entity. And the attribute means the oval shape, the ellipsis, and the diamond is what? Diamond is a container. If we want to give our data as a specific condition process, then we use our diamond, and line is for conductivity of your data, right? Like one class to another. So देखो छोटा सा एक ब्रेकिंग कॉन्सेप्ट का यहाँ पे we just want to create some diagram. Take a new page. We create some entities right now. Entities means we just want to create these image like after 10 minutes. And my class is over at 11. Then we'll meet. See, it's the entity diagram. एक एंटिटी ले लो दूसरी एंटिटी के साथ रिलेशनशिप एस्टैब्लिश होगा एंड बीच में जो भी आप वैल्यू डिफाइन करना चाहते हैं ना वो रिलेशनशिप अब देखिए प्राइमरी के डिफाइन करना है लाइन डिफाइन करना है ठीक है the whole things are contained here. See, सपोज दैट यहाँ पे क्लास बन गया स्टूडेंट का, यहाँ पे क्लास बन गया कोर्स का, ठीक है। रिलेशनशिप क्या बन रहा है, एनरोल का। So students are enrolling their course, right? अब यहाँ पे मुझे लेना है जैसे एक लाइन स्टूडेंट को we want to connect, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं के साथ कोर्स को। ये एक जो डायग्राम है वो यहाँ पे तैयार हो गया। Done. अब देखिए एट्रीब्यूट बहुत तरीके के हैं। एट्रीब्यूट का मतलब क्या है कि गिवन एक्सप्रेशन देते हैं ना, वो हम जो है वो एट्रीब्यूट है। अब स्टूडेंट की एट्रीब्यूट क्या हो सकती है, एक्चुअली और
Ma'am, your voice is not audible. It's too low. Hello?
वो हो रहा है ना, एक किसका है, ठीक है। वो एट्रीब्यूट किसका है, वो एट्रीब्यूट है हमारे इस क्लास का। नॉर्मल ये है ना, इस तरीके से अपने स्टूडेंट क्लास को इसको एड ऑन कीजिए। तो ये जो एक कंप्लीट डायग्राम होता है वो है आपका ईआर डायग्राम। अब ईआर डायग्राम के बेसिस पे यू जस्ट वांट टू क्रिएट योर टेबल। लेट्स से आई हैव वन सॉफ्टवेयर, it's my SQL is in my laptop. So we do one thing, we just give a password. Hey, Luciana, your voice is not audible.
एक मिनट. Yes, ma'am. Now it's audible. Actually, your headphones were a little far. That's why. Are you able to hear us?
Alright, wait a minute. Give me a minute.
Sure,
If my
ma'am.
voice is not audible, give me a second. The proper guys, this time my voice is audible. Are you listening it?
No, ma'am, it's not audible. It's still low. It is audible, but the volume is sort of too low.
The volume is low. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Actually, today is having some network problem. So network is being distracted and some bufferings are there. I do one thing, like in our last class that is in the coming day or the next one, then uh, continue the same concept. अगली क्लास में ना मैं DBMS वाला ये पूरा का पूरा नए सिरे से आपको बताऊंगी. नो प्रॉब्लम, राइट अंजलि?
Okay, ma'am, but the volume is now better.
Uh,
All of a sudden, it got better.
oh, it's
Sometimes
all
it's
good.
getting low, and sometimes automatically it's being better. It's due to network issue.
Due to network issue, I understand, but we are not worried about that. We have another class, and
Sure.
one more and one major topic we have, that is the concept of DBMS, and along with the DBMS, we just go through the like connection, what type of select and insert things are using while keeping with a Python, right? So in the last class, we'll discuss the same.
Okay, ma'am.
So okay, all right. Do we have any doubt in our today's class? So can you please ask me? अगर कुछ ऐसा है तो मुझे बताओ. Or shall we wind up this today's session because of the network? Okay? So do we have any doubt? Then please share it. Otherwise, we'll leave the class and next time we definitely. जब भी next class होगा ना, अब मैं ये starting से दोबारा बताऊंगी DBMS का. All right.